Hello. So I think we'll do this as a part 3 of my whole future-proof your mastering kind of series, mini-series. In the last video, I talked about showing you a kind of project I was working on, where I'd kind of done sort of disk efficient stems. So what does that mean? So I'll show you a demonstration on my computer what I mean by that, which maybe hopefully makes that clear. So this is the folder I'm working from, and what we can see here is we've got things like lead synth bar 37, lead synth bar 45, lead synth bar 92, piano bar 29, piano bar 81. So you can see that most of each track has got sort of multiple stems. I say multiple, I mean, it's got 4, bass has got 2, that's just got 1, break beats has got 2, rhythmic synth has got 2, funky wah, that's got 4, Argo 1 2 3 4 5, yes, that's got 5. So as you can see, and you can see that the file sizes are quite small. So that's just 9.2 megabytes, and 6.4, 7.6, 1.4, 9.9. So you can see is so this one, for example, I know starts at bar 1, so that may span the entire length of the song. That's obviously 63.9 megabytes. And obviously in this age of, sort of terabyte hard drives, that's not, that's not so much of a concern. But, as I say, if you've got kind of 90 track sort of pre-masters, you might want to think about doing these kind of disk efficient stems. Now obviously for this, because I need to say, if we look at this Argo, and we'll see what the Reaper project looks like, I need to know exactly where bar 45 is and exactly where bar 71 is. So have I got a MIDI file? So I talk about having a MIDI file, so I obviously probably went to the original Reaper file, looked at the tempo, but I need to get a MIDI file for this so I can really future-proof it. We can have a look at the stem mix. So I've opened up the Reaper project. So we were looking at that Argo, sort of those Argo stems just on the Explorer there. So this is the Argo line. Let's just solo that. So you can see I've got a little bit of audio here, and then it comes in again here, and it comes in again here, and then there's a little stem there, and then nothing, and then there's a bit there. I think the song ends. Does the song end about there? Yeah, the song. Okay, well, so let's say the song ends there. Okay. So just to demonstrate, what I could do is if we just make a stem of essentially the entire track of just this Argo. Let's just quickly render that. Let's call that Argo test. We could select the entire project, but we've set time selection as a WAV file. Just a 16-bit is fine. Where did that go? So yeah, so the Argo test, actually you can see I've got the pre-master WAV file there, which is 64.4, and we can see it's Argo test. It's obviously it's 64.2 as well in terms of sort of the size on the disk, 64.2 megabytes. Now obviously this, the number of tracks in this particular song track there's 14. Is there 14? Actually, well, it goes up to 16, so I've obviously got other things going on. Actually, I know I've got a drum folder going on there at the top, so that's maybe increasing my track counts, and I've also got a reverb send here on 17. So you imagine if you've got, say, 14, 15 or 16 tracks, each of which is 64 megabytes. That's sort of starting to get bigger and bigger in terms of disk space. These repeats, they don't take up much room, and as you can see, here, this 101 tone, whatever that is, I've got a lot of just tiny little stems there that just almost fit them on a floppy disk, couldn't you, these guys? So that's what I mean by sort of disk efficient masters. So this is one approach you could take if you wanted to save on disk space. I'm kind of curious actually what what this Argo thing is. Okay, it's that. Okay, cool. Now the disadvantage with this approach is that if you can see this 101 tone here going on. What is that? Okay, that sounds like a kind of one-shot sort of sample thing going on there, and you can see it's sprinkled along in the track. So the disadvantage of this approach is you've got to sit there and kind of throw all these in at their specific locations, and let's take this swell pad for example. You could imagine you could accidentally kind of move that, go oops, and then and even not notice as you're sort of clicking away doing this, that and the other. I'll just change that, just change that. So you could kind of mess up your track, and because you're going to go, oh, I've accidentally moved that, or where was it? There's only so many levels of undo, right? So there's pros and cons to this approach. If you've got terabytes and terabytes of disk space, the easiest thing is like this Rex FX bar 1. That stems the entire song. Yeah, pretty much. This is the most simple way of arranging your stems. Just one single stem stemming the track, hence the name stem. Coolio. Let's just hear a little extract of this. This is a track called Midnight Riding. Cool. Let's close this and not save changes. No. Alrighty, let's wrap this up. Hopefully we can get this in under 10 minutes today. So that's what I mean. So in previous videos where I say sort of disk efficient stems, that's basically what I mean. It's a bit more work, obviously prepping it all together and deciding what the chunks are going to be, and also bear in mind if you've got a reverb on a sound, so you might have a sound that's like, I don't know, like a snap. If I have a reverb on that, that's going to have a reverb tail, which you might necessarily see in the WAV file. So you might have your snap on one line and your reverb on a send. So your actual snap, you'll see that in the WAV file as like a bit of audio, but you won't necessarily see the reverb tail unless you sort of did a freeze or mix that down. So if you are like having chopping up your your sort of, I don't know, your MIDI, to do the mix downs, to make those stems, bear in mind that you might, the starting position, you can only see where it starts, but then so maybe it spans 4 bars. You've got a 4-bar phrase. Then I would set, when you're mixing down to make that stem, I'd increase it to like 5.5, because things like reverb, delay, echo, those kind of things that they'll add, and you don't want to hear something that's like a really nice, like a vocal performance that's like reverbing away, and suddenly it stops, and even in the mix of the song that could sound, something doesn't quite sound quite right there. So for when you're making those chopped up stems, if you use that approach, my recommendation is, do what you want, but my recommendation is bear in mind your sort of tails. All right, cheers folks.